What's going on, everyone? The Draft Nerd here. If you're new to the channel, I make college basketball / NBA draft content. So if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Kentucky guard, Cason Wallace. So tonight, Kentucky plays Michigan State and Duke plays Kansas in like some State Farm Classic or something like that. And so, I mean, hopefully by the time hopefully I can get this video out in time. But I want to talk about Cason Wallace just for a little bit. It's going to be one of my draft previews or draft profiles, as I like to call them. And I'm probably going to do another one of these about, the same players at the end of the year, but I like to do as many as I can at the beginning of the year so that we can see how the players progress. And Cason Wallace is one that I definitely want to see how he progresses, because right now he's projected like a top 10 to 12 pick. I think I might have him at 10 on my big board, which that will be coming soon. I'll put it down like in the description below whenever I finally get done. Basically, Cason Wallace, like I said, 6'4" guard. He actually, for him to be like a point guard, as what you more than likely would look at him as, he moves very well without the ball. He's a very good off-ball mover, and a lot of times I feel like with younger guys, it's hard for them to get that concept of them being, off-ball. Like we saw with Anthony Edwards. Granted, he's upset in Minnesota, but if you watch the NBA at all, you saw that play where Anthony Edwards just had his hands on his hips and didn't do anything. You got to do better. And a lot of young players do not know what to do when they don't have the ball in their hand. So shout out to Cason Wallace for just being able to be one of those guys who move a lot without the ball. He's not like Steph moving without the ball, but he definitely just doesn't sit there and just wait for the game to come to him. So he actually does something to, maybe change something that change the outcome of the game. You never know. He's also a pretty good playmaker. I think that I really think he's a very solid playmaker, if you ask me. I think he passes guys open, which is something, to me, there's a difference between I get the assist by kicking it to the open guy than someone who's like, oh, I can actually pass this guy open. I can get him open with my lead passes or something like that. So I think Cason Wallace is actually really good at that. He's also like I wouldn't say he's a bigger body guard. I mean, he's like 6'4", 183, so that's not necessarily big body, but he's not the world's most athletic or quickest person. He does have decent athleticism, but he struggles with other people who are athletic. If he tries to go to the paint, he's not going to finish that well just because of all the contact. He does need to work on that, but at the same time, I mean, he has a decent shot. It's just a little streaky at times, so he does have a shot to rely on, but at some point, you're going to have to be able to go in there and make those shots, even, foul or no foul. You're going to have to go in there and finish in the trenches, which is ironic because one of his key traits that you wouldn't think of since he's a guard is his ability to rebound. I think he's averaging like 5 rebounds a game or something like that. And it's super early in the season. I get it. But I still think that's pretty impressive for him to be a guard. So I think that is somewhat shows that he is able to kind of muster up and body up some of these guys, because if he's able to do it on the defensive end, I think he's just got to learn what works for him to do the same thing on the offensive end. So I'm not really too concerned about him finishing right now. I would like to see it get better throughout the season, but like I said, I'm not too concerned because he's showing on the defensive end he can do it. And speaking on the defensive end, he bodies people up on defense. He's a very good perimeter defender. In fact, I wouldn't say he's one of the better perimeter defenders in draft class yet, but to me, he's one of the most complete, if that makes any sense. He just knows how to, knows what stance to get in, knows how to like lead guys into the paint. He knows how to, cut off angles and things like that. So he's not like, for example, there's guys like Dylan Mitchell. Dylan Mitchell is just extremely athletic, which I'm doing a video on him too. If you don't know who he is, he's a freshman, small forward at Texas. Extremely athletic. He makes a lot of mistakes on defense, but he's so athletic and so fast and just so talented that he can make up for that. Cason Wallace isn't like that. He doesn't have the athleticism to make up for his mistakes. I think he just puts himself in the right position on defense. His bread and butter is how good he is on the perimeter guarding, a ball handler. So I think that's something that Kentucky could use, and I think that any NBA team could use perimeter defense, because we see it's becoming a very perimeter-centric league. A lot of his downfalls has to do with his shooting. It's inconsistent at times, but it's not. It doesn't look bad or anything. It's not like, oh, he'll never be able to shoot. It's just a little inconsistent. He does play a little wild at times, and he does also struggle to just make the correct shot sometimes. Sometimes he just wants to just put it up and chuck up shots. So I think he does need to work on that, but I think that comes with time. Young guy, Kentucky especially, where, you got to get it how you can at Kentucky, it seems like. But I'm not too concerned. I think this is one of the more you get what you get type player. So if you don't buy into what he does now, then I really wouldn't expect him to. I think he has all the ability in the world to become much better than what he is right now. But I'm saying, like, I wouldn't draft him in expectation of that. You know what I mean? I would draft him to, refine everything he's doing now to a higher level, but I wouldn't expect him to just all of a sudden become some amazing shooter, or all of a sudden just be able to finish, in the paint with the best. I'm like a John Morant or something. Wouldn't expect any of that. I think what you get from him is what you will always have. And I think that that's going to always be his basis, if you ask me. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I try to keep these short so I can do a lot of them. Like, I'm planning on doing like 4. So you might see this hoodie a bunch of times. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about Cason Wallace. Let me know what player I should do next. Let me know what team I should talk about next, because there's so much basketball going on. And I just love trying to watch all of it. So thank you so much for supporting the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.